Let's talk about how you can make smarter music that gets you more fans. Hey there, it's John here at Hyped It, and in this video I want to talk to you about how to make smarter music that gets you even more fans. And I'm going to talk about what smarter music means in this context. But before I go there, let me tell you what it does not mean, right? This is not about a recommendation to make more mainstream music or anything like that, right? No, this is about making smarter decisions about your music along the fan journey to get more fans through that journey faster and grow your fan base, right? That's what my mission is all about, right? I'm here to help you grow your fan base faster. So what's the fan journey? Let's start there for just a second. I would divide the fan journey into 3 stages. The first stage of the fan journey is to turn strangers, folks who have never heard about you, into listeners so they check out your music. The second step is have listeners turn into fans. And then the third step is have fans turn into super fans and customers. Okay? So here are 3 tips to make your music smarter that will actually help you get more fans along this journey. Tip number 1, when you post your music online, right, on social media, I'm not talking about Spotify or Apple Music or those official streaming platforms. I'm talking online, social media, whether it is on SoundCloud or on YouTube or wherever you post it. My strong recommendation for making your music smarter in the fan process is don't post full-length versions of your music. Okay, there's one significant problem if you post full-length version of your tracks, and that is that you're dealing with fans and listeners who have really short attention spans. And if you have a full-length version of your music out there, chances are there's going to be an intro to the song. And for someone to discover what your song's really about and get to some of the best parts of the song, they may have to listen to it for like 30 seconds or a minute or even longer, right? And those long intros, they kill a lot of attention and have fans and listeners turn away. This is particularly hurting yourself if you are focusing on that first step of the fan journey or that second step of the fan journey, right? Turning listeners into fans. Because if a listener who checks out just a couple seconds of your music doesn't fall in love with that track, they never become a fan in that moment. But if you had given them a preview that would show them one of the most exciting parts of your song in the first couple seconds, there's a good chance they'd fall in love with this and become fans and followers for you and grow your fan base, right? It's been Benny Blanco. He's a big producer. Look him up. He's associated with names like Rihanna, Maroon 5, and the likes. And he said it really well. He said you have about 5 seconds to grab the attention of your listeners. And in those first 5 seconds, they're making the decision in their head whether they continue listening to your song or they start listening to something else. And, I'm a music artist as well. And I think we sort of artists ourselves, we suffer from the belief that we put so much love and energy in a track that it deserves to be listened through, all the way or halfway or, decent chunk of it. But then look at yourself and how you're consuming social media, right? If I'm on Instagram, I'm definitely a perfect example of how short attention spans get, right? I just scroll down my Instagram feed and I give each image maybe, half a second of attention, maybe not even, right? Maybe it's even less. And if it's something that grabs my attention, okay, I stay, I'll look at it, I'll see what it's about. But most of the time, I just flip through it. And this is how listeners who aren't your diehard fans yet, how they behave online, right? They listen to music and they come across your track and they play it for a few seconds. And if they like what they hear, they stay. If they don't like what they hear, they move on, right? And if you post a full-length version, how exciting are the first 5 seconds of your full-length track? I'll leave that up to you. But for my tracks, the first 5 seconds are usually just drums. There isn't anything exciting going on. So I would definitely lose a listener who would judge my song on the first 5 seconds, which might just be, bass drum and a hi-hat and a snare drum. but not what the song's really about. Like all that stuff comes later. So again, let's bring it home here. So what you want to do is you want to take your full song, you want to cut out a preview that features the most exciting parts, or one of the most exciting parts of your song in the first 5 seconds of that preview. What I do, oftentimes I load my song into Audacity and then I cut out different pieces of the song and then I compare them and see which ones I like best. But all of them judged by, am I featuring an exciting moment in my song in the first 5 seconds of that preview that I'm going to export? And if that works, I'm going to upload that to SoundCloud. I'm going to upload that to YouTube, and I'm going to upload that to social media and share that with my fans. Because I know listeners hearing to that, they know right away what the song is about. And if they like it, there's a much greater chance that they'll become fans from there. So that's my first tip. Okay, tip number 2 is all about Spotify. There is a trend towards shorter versions of songs. And that trend is particularly driven by streaming platforms such as Spotify or Apple Music. And the reason is that they are driven, or the revenue model is driven by streams. Okay, so think about that. Let's say you come across a song on Spotify that you really, really love, and it's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, right? Which is a lot shorter than radio versions, used to be. They used to be like 3 minutes 30 up to 4 minutes. But let's say you come across a song, you really love it, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and you want to spend more time with this song. What do? You play it again, right? You stream it again. If the same song was 5 minutes long, you would spend the same time with it, the same time listening to the awesome melody or awesome rhythm or awesome lyrics or whatever you love about that song. But you would only accumulate 1 stream on that song if it was a 5-minute version. If it's a 2 minute, 30-second version, you're going to get 2 streams out of a fan who spends that same amount of time with the song. And this is one of the reasons you see a lot of songs getting shorter and shorter right now, because artists are optimizing for repeat streams on Spotify. So in this particular case, I'd say follow the trend, right? If you are making dance music, yeah, you'll probably have an extended version or club version that has all the DJ intro and outro and all of that good stuff happening. And that can be 5 minutes, 6 minutes, or however long you want it to be. But while you're in the studio and while you're editing your song, make sure you cut a short version out of that. And short doesn't have to mean 4 minutes. That can actually mean 3 minutes or even shorter. Obviously, let the song and the flow of the song determine how long that should be. I'm not saying try to hit a specific sort of time target, but the message here is the shorter your version is and still, be an attractive song, the higher the likelihood that fans who want to spend more time with your music will accumulate more streams over the same amount of time they would have otherwise spent with longer versions of the same songs. So I hope that helps and helps you grow your Spotify streams and revenue over time. Okay, and here's my tip number 3. Next time you're in the studio or you're working on a new track at home, make sure you're exporting and creating one more thing that you can give away as an exclusive download. And here's what I mean by this. When you're working on a new track, probably you're already focused on a short version, you're already focused on a long version, so you're creating multiple versions of your song for different purposes, right? The longer version may be for DJs, the shorter version might be for Spotify, and so on. But try to add one more thing to your to-do list here. Create one more thing of your song that you can give away as an exclusive to turn listeners into new fans or turn fans into super fans. And you can think about this as custom content maybe for a download gate, right? Or maybe custom content for a link gate or something exclusive that you want to give away. And it could be another version of a song, right? Maybe you do a special extended version of the song, which is still different from what you're uploading to Spotify and Apple Music. That's what makes it exclusive, right? That only you can share it with your fans. Or maybe it's an instrumental version of your track. Or maybe it's stems. Maybe you're sharing specific remix stems from your track. And that could be that one thing that you can give away. So whatever it is, try to add that one special exclusive thing to your to-do list in the studio, and you'll have a great asset that you can use on a link gate or on a download gate to share with fans, and then systematically turn more listeners into fans and engage fans to turn them into super fans. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed those 3 tips, and I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these 3 tips. Is it something you're already doing? Is it something you're planning to do for your next track? Or maybe you have other ways in which you're making your music smarter to turn strangers into listeners, listeners into fans, and fans into customers. Let me know. Put it in the comments below and share it with the community. I'd love to see your comments. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button here, and then I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.